The section before this one did an excellent job of linking the influence of phenomenology with research. This section will examine how phenomenology influences nursing praxis. Let's start with a quick review of the nursing praxis. Nursing praxis has a variety of definitions. It is more than the clinical skills and knowledge that nurse practitioners possess and use. Praxis is a coherent structure of the nurse's work that integrates guiding values, specific actions consistent within the social mission of the profession, knowledge construction, community awareness, and the realization that within a profession lies the process of bringing about some human good. It is a value-grounded, thoughtful reflection and action that occurs simultaneously and integrates knowledge with the nurse's caring human potential in the patient encounter. Pamela Reed, when speaking with Gary Rolfe in 2006 for Nurse Science Quarterly, said that she considered praxis the enactment of one's values rather than enactment of theories. Theories as opposed to research. Research is usually driven by what we value. Economics is not the study of money, it's the study of what we spend our money on, and therefore what we value. Nursing research is similar. It's not about theories, but the application and improvement of human experiences related to health. This leads us to an oversimplified but no less valid definition of praxis, one I've illustrated here as praxis is the overlap of practice and research within the same act. Nursing praxis involves the nurse in generating informal theories about the unique clinical situations in which one is immersed, testing hypotheses derived from these theories by modifying practice, reformulating theories in response to changes in practice, retesting new or revised hypotheses, and so on in a reflexive spiral. In this way, theory and practice are developed simultaneously in a process that involves a swift alternation between research and the application of that research as two sides of the same coin. Thus, the role of the researcher cannot be separated from the role of the practitioner, because to practice is to research. The earlier sections addressed how phenomenology has influenced nursing research. For the sake of brevity, I won't repeat previous information, but I believe we can all agree that it has been more than adequately shown how theory and research continue to utilize a phenomenological approach. So nursing praxis, at its most basic definition, is the cycle, the overlap between research and practice, where one influences the other. We've already seen how phenomenology influences the nursing praxis because it influences nursing research. But to pay equal measure to the other domain of praxis, let's examine how phenomenology influences nursing practice through specific examples. For our purposes, we will use one event to generate specific examples of the influence of phenomenology on practice and therefore praxis. Since phenomenology is the study of the structures of experience, then consciousness and intentionality are essential. For some patients, the last experience before the permanent loss of consciousness or death is the resuscitation code. What must this last phenomena be like for the patient? The fear, the overwhelming sense of the unknown, the loss. Sociocultural concepts aside, death is the last transformative experience. Because we have no empirical data for what happens to consciousness after death, we must use phenomenology to describe and interpret this experience from the surviving patient's perspective and from our own perceptions of death, both as humans and as healthcare professionals. Questions arise such as, what is a good death? Who advocates for the patient? How does this event contribute to the grief process? What would I want for my loved ones when they die? What do I want for my own death? What, too, is this experience like for family members? Phenomenological evidence finds that family presence during resuscitation is beneficial to patients, family, and staff. Policy was changed to reflect this research. Patients that have survived a resuscitation code report family presence was a comfort. Families report that observing that everything possible was done removed doubt about the patient's condition. Their presence at the bedside decreased their anxiety and fear about what was happening to their loved one. It facilitated their need to be together and the need to help and support their loved one. Because they were witnesses to the code, they were often able to experience a sense of closure and contributed positively to the grief process when death did occur. 94 to 100% of families involved in family presence events would do so again. This illustrates how phenomenology has influenced nursing practice by creating a change in how a complicated event is conducted and therefore viewed. And by changing the perception of the experience, the phenomena is changed. Death and a practice intervention related to it were used as a complex example of how phenomenology influences praxis. This was chosen because every death, while startlingly similar, is also different. Having family present serves as a reminder of the duality of phenomena. By making the patient and their family part of the phenomena, you change the experience, not just as it relates to those individuals, but to yourself, the team, and ultimately, policy. But what about the individual nurses present? Every interaction one has with a patient is an opportunity to enhance one's nursing praxis. As previously mentioned in Section 3, the values of nursing practice include uniqueness of person, self-discovery and acceptance of life situation, personal relationships, therapeutic use of self, personal growth, and exploration of experiences. When we participate in a resuscitation code, that is one phenomenon. When family is present, the phenomenon changes. Our practice extends beyond the identified patient to the non-identified patient, i.e. the family. Our praxis is changed because we are now incorporating another layer of authenticity and knowledge of our own phenomenology into the experience. We become not just a skilled technician, but mentor, counselor, and model for the emotions a family may experience. Many of these we can anticipate, such as fear and grief, but with every code, every event during our nursing day, we must remain aware of the unknown and unique. How does the family perceive what I am doing? Am I conveying professional competence? Is my own moral conscience contributing positively to the phenomena? Am I giving and receiving mutual respect? If the family member feels witnessing the code was traumatic, what were the themes related to the experience that were distressing? Can I change these themes by changing my practice? These are all phenomenological considerations that we incorporate into our praxis. Allowing family members to be present during a resuscitation code was a change from a previous policy. Phenomenological research, which must have been initiated after phenomenological discussions of practice events, has now created a policy change that further contributes to examining our practice as a complicated and connected network of objects of experience. As seen in the table, by using a phenomenological approach to nursing praxis, we can safeguard the potential benefits while minimizing the potential barriers, but only if we examine both ourselves and the uniqueness of the situation and patient. Phenomenology, as a philosophical approach to nursing praxis, has a long tradition both in nursing research and in nursing practice values. Nurses don't just study the essential structures of experience, they become part of and are transformed by every nursing experience.